We kicking it?
What? It's on.
Good morning.
Oh,
this
fuck.
is the earliest we have ever recorded a podcast.
This is so... Yeah. This is so rotten and nasty.
Yeah,
I didn't have time to have a wank this morning.
Do you wank every morning?
No, I don't. I used to when I was like a teenager, but no. Now you'd be... Now that feels like it'd be like doing whiskey in the morning. Like you'd be absolutely...
Yeah, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Be on your way to work, just...
Yeah. Yeah, your head would be in the bin.
Yeah, very brain fog.
Yeah.
From all the ejaculate inside you. Anyway, we've got 8:30 in the morning. We've already started this shite.
Yeah. So we might as well get things kicked off.
Well,
that's why they tune in.
That's why this is why they tune in for the talk of mucky things.
Yeah, rotten.
Mucky nastiness. I'm going back to being the clean cut,
do it, lad.
Nice boy of the
Good
podcast. I think I'm going to try and temper you.
Yeah.
Back down to the clean living lifestyle that you once were. I'm going to get you back to the altar boy that you used to be.
I was an altar boy, and I suppose I was a nicer chap then. But although even then I didn't have much respect for teachers or priests or anything like that.
Were you doing the...
Huh?
Did you do this one?
I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Is that something you were doing to the priest? No. What do you have there? What was that one? Is that a particular type of wank that they demanded?
No, do you know the what's the line? You'll know what the line is, Conal. It's the take this, all of you, and eat of it. This is my body, which will be given up for you. And then they go jing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Oh, you're talking about ringing the bell.
Yeah.
What the fuck was this? You gotta give more context than just that. Yeah, I rang the bell. I fucking rang the shit out of the bell. There was little points. There's a Lamb of God point in the show where he says what? He said something about shoving a Lamb of God up his arse, and then you have to ring again, and there's a few different things. And then you'd bring the cheap little tray where you'd bring him
I never did altar boy.
The heroin and the potatoes.
the buckfast.
Yeah. No, there was a little tray where you'd bring him like fucking wine and water, and he'd dip his little... he'd do all the little...
And all that stuff.
Yeah. Just he'd do rotten little things with it.
But there was... I remember there was a church that we would occasionally go to. Basically, if we'd all slept in through 10 o'clock mass on a Sunday, you would go, oh no, we'll go to some Alec-E's at 6 in town, and we'd go in, and they didn't have a jingling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. They had a big fucking bong.
A bong?
Yeah. You know the one? Yeah. It's so funny.
So it was an altar boy armed with a little...
Some kind of mallet?
Yeah.
Bong. Yeah. It makes it seem like the cult it is.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like a jingling-a-ling makes you go, oh, magic.
Yeah.
But the bong goes,
are we in Inception? Do you know what I mean? Bong. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember that trailer for Inception? Do you remember that? That was every trailer since, I feel, does the same thing. Because the trailer for Inception, everyone's like, what the fuck? Or just does a big bong, dong. This creates this
there's always a big drone.
Yeah.
And then there was a great trailer recently, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Bong.
Yeah. That was sick.
And Robert De Niro speaking Osage or whatever. Good fucking movie. I tell you
that was a great movie,
yeah. Fucking
movie. Jesus, that tickled me balls, alright.
It was good fun, but so the reason we're recording very, very early, and we should let them know that the Patreon extension of today's episode will be the live podcast from the Bill Murray Angel Comedy Club, recorded on the 1st of December.
That's right.
So that'll be what that is. I have to dash.
Our magnum opus.
Does magnum opus mean like best or first? Best. Okay, yeah. So primo opus primo opus was the Edinburgh Live podcast.
Yeah, this is our magnum opus, our masterpiece. Vittorio didn't like it at all, but it was a timeless classic.
I enjoyed it.
Huh?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to come across.
Fucking good.
In people's headphones.
Who wouldn't enjoy
also
people being called pedos relentlessly, even when the joke is long dead?
Just so you know, in the Patreon, the first half is in again
Arabic.
somehow. No,
First half is in Arabic. It was a choice we made on the room in
for
the
the
day.
people of Palestine.
Yeah. It was a political
decided
statement.
to support them
Yeah.
by doing our live podcast
In Arabic. Do any of us speak Arabic? No. But we made
We
the
tried.
faces. We did the
moves. Yeah, there was a lot of phlegm.
Yeah.
A lot of phlegm.
A lot of phlegm, and we didn't give the women, we gave very little rights. No women were allowed driving the show.
Which is
and if you
I think
tried to
that's
come in-
generally the rules of comedy clubs.
No,
No
I've
women
seen-
are allowed to
I've seen a
drive
few
in the
women
comedy club.
Park up in Nissan Micras now up near the stage recently. Rude little
And that's where it's all
fuckers.
gone wrong, really. The
Yeah.
woke mob will tell you that you're supposed to be able to park a Nissan Micra right up next to the comedy
of
club
course.
stage.
Yeah. With their no bras, nipples out, Nissan Micra. It's all a joke.
No,
It's not good. Is it?
the nipple thing's an interesting one because there was this kind of feminist movement of like free the nipple, and
The nipple had been like Nelson Mandela in jail for 26 years.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, very much so. On
Don't you worry why I'm doing it.
it's too early.
It's
You're
too
cuddling,
early.
You're
And I
cuddling
want
a
to-
cushion.
And I want to create a bed on the couch. you take over this one there now. But go on about, you're saying about freeing the nipple.
Yeah, so this occasionally happens with kind of feminist theories where they go, free the nipple, we want to show our nipples more, and all the fellas kind of look around going, were we stopping them doing that?
Yeah, because that seems like the worst idea we ever had if we were stopping them doing that. Who decided to stop them doing that? Can we kill that person?
And just to keep their spirits high and keep them really pushing back against it, we had to go, oh, you better not. It felt like men doing reverse psychology on women.
If you show me those rotten nipples,
I oughta.
I'll beat my dog to death in fury because I don't want to see your nipples.
You better not be showing, and you better not be fucking everyone.
If you become promiscuous and fuck us all easily without us having to put in much effort, well, you'll hate that. My cum better stay in my balls. Oh, if you take it out of my balls, I'm going to be so furious. Ooh. And the women were like, well, watch this. And you're like, no.
Oh no! These blasted feminists!
You wretched whores. I love you.
This is why
wretched.
people like Jordan Peterson are important, because he's really banging the drum of like, well, women should be monogamous and we should do all this stuff, and you shouldn't have your nipples out in public because lobsters don't have their nipples out in public.
Knobs are just there in this very like conservative like dress with dresses down to their ankles.
Lobsters are probably the
Frigid
sluttiest
fucks.
dressed of all the animals, I would say.
Are they? Because they're like
They're
brains
so-
on their outside. and
They're so
everything.
naked, they're skeletons on the outside.
Yeah.
You can't get more naked than that.
No. They're absolute sluts. Lobsters. They're filth. Just like, look at my skull. You're like, Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
cool it. Let me buy you dinner first.
yeah,
Let
I
me
mean-
take you out for a nice dinner.
Listen, I'll fuck your skull, but I don't like how you're going about this, lobster. You cheeky little lobster.
You Chickle, you're a good singer. I enjoyed you in The Little Mermaid, but I won't have any more of this sluttiness.
No way. Oh, speaking of we'll say like Arabic and the general oppression of
Every
women.
time you say speaking of on this podcast, it's not what we were just talking about.
It is what we're just talking about. You haven't even let me finish. If you let me get to what I was saying, you'd see that it is what we're talking about. You absolute dickhead. Yeah? There you go. So I was in an Uber the other day. Who was driving it?
A lobster.
Huh?
A lobster?
No, not a lobster. I don't think he was a lobster. If he was pretending he was a Middle Eastern man.
Wait, so you were surprised that there was a Middle Eastern man?
Oh, it was a big shock.
I've had a
for
couple
me.
of female Deliveroo people recently, and then I had a female Uber driver recently as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like it.
Deliver boobs. No, deliver boobs because she delivers her boobs to the door. If she was wearing no bra and you got to see her lovely nipples, her Middle Eastern nipples. No? Was she a brown lady, the Deliveroo driver?
No, more Eastern European.
God, fuck that.
She came to the door and she was like, I opened the door and she went, "I have problem." And I was like, "What are you?
Yeah.
What's the problem?" And
My vagina, it is wet and I need for...
it did feel like the start of an awful porn.
Yeah.
You know?
I have problem in my pantaloon. My vagina, it is all wet and I know not what to do with it. But perhaps you, Mr. Italian Vito man, you have big penis for me. And then you'd have to
That's
like...
not what happened.
No, is that not what happened? And she just gave you your garlic bread,
Well,
did she?
it was a German doner kebab that I went for.
Whoa, yummy.
I like a German doner kebab. Not the tastiest of kebabs, obviously, because it's German, but functional.
Yes.
Comes in a nice little cardboard
And
box.
it hates Jews.
I'd say most kebabs.
They probably do, yeah.
That's the through line.
Yeah.
That's why so many Turkish people moved to Germany.
That's right.
They were like, "We hear you guys are like-minded chaps."
God, the kebab shops in Berlin are sick.
Well, because I was confused for a long time as to why it was called German doner kebab,
Yeah.
and I kind of still am,
Yeah.
because I get that like there's a huge influx of Turkish people into Germany, and therefore it's kind of like a.
Yes.
What was that?
There was a little fly there or something. And I was just blowing.
It's coming down the microphone like.
Yeah. That's there. And I'm just blowing at him. I'm blowing him away.
Did I ever tell
Why, you
you?
little shite hawk. You little tax collecting cunt.
Did I ever tell you about the compere at the gig I did in Copenhagen? A guy called Henrik.
No.
And he had a really, really funny bit. This is very, very quickly. He had a really, really funny bit about when there's a mosquito in your room.
Yeah.
And it's going like...
Yeah.
And it's like going all around. And you just, on some level, you're like, if you just flew in, bit me, and then fucked off, that would be nicer. But this is just annoying for the whole evening. I'm just like trying to get ready to do this, whatever. And he's like, and the whole bit was, I would actually prefer if like vampires existed.
Yeah.
Because at least Dracula doesn't come in and fly past your ear going, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
That's great.
Such a good little joke.
Man,
really good.
I've had some of my nearest like mental breakdowns with like
A fly in your bedroom at night time?
yeah, no, more in the morning, like
Oh.
the next morning when you're just kind of like real tired, and then you and it just lands on me, and I'm like, "You dirty cunt!"
Because you're not quite ready yet.
No, but now I slap myself away. I'm like, "Where are you, you fucker?" And then and then I kind of eventually like he'll go quiet, and then I'll go back to sleep, and then just he'll land. Where are you, you fucker? And I'm up, and I've like
Because
never
I'm
been
more
more
of a late night. I'm more of like 1 a.m, 2 a.m. If I hear zzz, then I'm up for the whole night having a duel with
Yeah.
a fly.
Yeah. Like I get to a stage where like I get up and like I understand like torture and all the evils of man, the most vengeful, bad.
What's happening?
Because once that fly, because in my head, if I catch that fly, if I could catch him alive,
It's over for these
well, no,
hoes?
I'd have him like just splayed out like on some sort of a pulley,
A tiny
and
chop.
I'd have his like legs just like kind of tied up like that, and then like I'd have like 4 little kind of like dinky tractors driving in all different directions, and they'd pull the fly apart his legs off and shit, like the cartels would do
Yeah.
with someone, like if they found someone like
You're
Connell
fucking-
shagging their wife.
You're kneecapping flies.
Huh?
You're kneecapping flies.
Well, yeah, but pulling them apart, like, do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'd love to see, like, put you on like, just a little. I wouldn't, like, not pull you fully
What's
apart.
it called? The stretchy torture machine?
Huh?
It's got a name.
It's some sort of a
Just Google stretchy torture machine.
stretchy torture, it's some kind of a rotten pulley. But if we could get you,
No, it's got like a fancy name. It's got a fancy name that I think is good and will add to this story.
The rack?
the rack.
Yeah,
There, is
but
that the fancy name you were looking for? It's what we also call a big pair of tits. The rack. Is that what you were after? I'd love to get you on a little, Joe, just a little stretcher.
rack?
Just to give you a little, just give you a little pull to put manners on you. Like, oh no. And then, but no, I wouldn't rip your arms like that.
I'd be taller than you if that happened. I'd be so much taller.
Yeah, but in a
because I'm
weird-
already taller than you.
You're not taller than me, lad, and you know well you're not.
No, I am.
No, you're smaller.
When we're sat down, I am.
Huh?
I'm taller than you sat down.
I mean, people are very surprised when they see me standing up because they're like, Jesus Christ, you're an absolute
Because
mountain
it's all
of a
in your
man.
legs. It's all in your legs. Whereas
Yeah.
I've got short legs, big body.
Right.
Sit. I think we'll be the same height sat down.
And heading you like the Rocket Castle.
How nuts is that?
Huh.
I'm taller than you sat down.
Right. But that's because you've got little stubby, weak Italian legs. And I've got long agricultural gazelle-like legs.
Yeah, you're used to like bounding over the mud. I've never had to bound through mud, so my legs have just grown like this.
These are bog legs. These are legs that can escape the English in the bog. These are legs born from the War of Independence, the wind that shake the bog legs.
I had a little riff on stage recently that I thought was funny, and I was debating turning into a bit, but it was one of those, you know, when you have something that's in the moment and you go, if I said that in a way where it felt like I'd come up with it yesterday, it wouldn't have been funny, but because I came up with it.
Like every bit of crowd work ever, you mean?
Not every bit. Sometimes you do a bit of crowd work and it becomes a bit. You've had that happen?
Nope.
Never?
No.
You like latch onto a little premise and you go, oh, that's a little gem.
No, I think it's cheap and wrong. But keep talking.
Sorry, my brain just works at such a pace in the moment.
Yeah, I know, and that's why if you got to slow down and consider what you were saying, what you say might actually be good.
Of the two of us, I'm the one who needs to consider what I say on stage more.
Yep.
To be fair, I did get in trouble this week on the internet.
Yeah, you did. You did get in trouble on the internet. And you had to take a clip down and you had to go away with your tail between your legs. And it was pure humiliation.
I didn't have to take a clip down.
You did.
This is what's funny is, so for context, I've been doing some material around the topic of the Middle East and Israel, Palestine and all that stuff. It's been going well in the room. And I was like, well...
rotten, nasty stuff.
Feels pretty topical, pretty pertinent. So I'm going to start putting the clips out. Put out the first couple clips, and one of them goes fucking crazy. It goes mad viral, gets picked up, subtitled in Indonesian, sent all around. And I've got all these people going, yeah, you're fucking great. This is so cool.
So these Indonesian people with these little kind of, did you see them? They're like these little kind of simulated fat heads that they put on their heads to be like, I am Vittorio, look, I think racism is bad. Racism bad, I am Vittorio. We have Vittorio, Indonesian fans. We have big fat head, and we say things about England. Racism bad. I saw play and I cried with my big stupid fat head. Come to Indonesia, Vittorio, if your head can fit on the plane. But maybe not. Big stupid fat head. Crying. Have I nailed that? Is that what happened? Look at how fat our head is. And our dicks are all fucked up. We have mangled dicks. If you look down, we have put this thing that simulates a dick being a mangle because Vittorio have big fat head but dick no work. Dick is all fucked up.
What's great is there's definitely like a couple of the Indonesian fans who will have become podcast listeners now, and they're listening to your spot on impression of them.
I am from Indonesia. I like two things. Rice, I'm guessing, and Vittorio's big fat head. And the words that come out of his big fat head about racism, big, bad, so bad. Yeah. And see, if you can look at what I've just done there, racism is not that bad, it's funny. And that's what your show should be about. Racism is funny. Yeah. It's very funny. But anyway, so you put this clip out.
Clip on.
Well, to see the palace. So I could completely tell you exactly why the clip that went well. The clip that went bad.
No,
it's
I'll tell
clear
you,
as day.
but even the one that went well in a kind of unsettling way, where I had made a joke about Sinn Féin, and people didn't. A lot of people misinterpreted it in a kind way to me, thinking that I was making some greater statement about kind of global politics, which I rarely am.
No.
And so I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. My friend who's pro-Israel said, well, but the Palestinians have elected terrorists to their government. And I was like, I thought that was our thing. That's a little joke, slightly extended with more facial expressions. And I obviously, and then people started commenting, being like, "Yeah, Joe Biden is a terrorist." And I was like, "Nope, I was talking about Jerry Adams."
Yeah.
Like very much talking about, like, I mean, Jerry Adams wasn't in the IRA, but Joe Biden fucking wasn't in, like, actually wasn't in the IRA.
Yeah.
That's a slightly separate thing.
But they both claim not to be in the IRA, Joe Biden and Jerry Adams.
I think
they
Joe
both have the
Biden.
same
I
stance.
think Joe Biden, on some level, to court the Irish American vote.
He's claiming to be in the RA.
Yeah, that's the difference between Jerry Adams. Joe Biden wasn't in the RA, but claims to have been in the RA. Jerry Adams was in the RA, but claims not to have been in the RA.
Biden claims he blew up that pub in Guildford.
He claims he's all of the Birmingham Six.
He's all of them. Birmingham 6 years to live.
We're there, and I'm like flying on dopamine, but slightly unsettled and slightly annoyed that they'd kind of supplanted some or projected some kind of ideology to my silly joke about Sinn Féin.
Yeah, but of course, when people see that, everyone assumes that Irish nationalists are pro-Palestine. So everyone just assumes that. So when you make a joke that's kind of just alluding to our government was the same as theirs, that's just people are just going to make that connection.
Yeah, I guess so. And then
well, there's no guess so, they did.
And then part of me was like, oh, well, that first clip's gone well, let's do another joke about Israel Palestine. Partly to be like, maybe this one will go well as well, but then partly to be like, let's punch slightly in the other direction and see what happens. And then all the new followers who thought I was some kind of spokesperson for Palestine were so fucking angry.
Yeah.
They were so fucking angry.
They were very angry. They were writing paragraphs.
It was essays, man.
The Quran too was written.
There was comments in Arabic, and this is what happens. This is like, people always ask you in these shite interviews that you do, where you're like, what do you think about cancel culture and comedy? Shite interviews, and also every time you get into a fucking taxi and they find out you're a comedian, they're like, what do you think about, everyone's too woke nowadays, aren't they, to do comedy? Here's my thoughts on cancel culture. I'll delete my own video if it gets enough negative comments.
That's right.
I'll run away.
And you're dead fucking right.
So I was like, no, this is stressing me out today. I'm just going to put that to one side.
100%. Well, I did message you as well. I was like,
yeah, you messaged me going, Vittorio.
Yeah. Well, no.
I think the first message just said Vito, which is funny. And I was like, I know what this is about.
Yeah. Well,
you were a kind, good friend, I would say.
Yeah. I know I was a kind, good friend, but like I knew from what before any of the comments came in when I saw that video, I was like, oh, you're gonna get absolutely lynched. You're going to get lynched for this.
Some people liked it.
Because you can't. The problem is right now, the stance you came in with, even for the bit, even though it's a bit, is just.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Just not accepting that.
Yeah, they're not accepting. I don't feel like I know enough to talk about it. People go, you don't need to know anything.
Babies are dying. You don't need to know. Babies are dying. And you need to read a book to know what they're dead, baby.
Mate, the fucking.
You stupid fucking fat. And then the Indonesians were coming in and be like, but his head is so far. And they say racism bad. We must listen to it. You know. And then they're like, you shut the fuck up too, you Indonesian fucker.
Oh, this ain't it. You should unfollowed.
Yeah.
I thought you were good from that one other video I'd watched, but now I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, there were people that just be like, usually funny, but this is absolute utter dog shit, and you should kill yourself. You should now take your own life because of what you've done. You disgusting, villainous.
Yeah.
Well,
at least it's put a stop to what I had for a week from the Indonesians and other people around the world that was sending me the most horrific things that were happening in Gaza and going, can you please use your voice to share this?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that's. I'm trying to sell tickets in Bournemouth.
But then one would argue, why be commenting on it at all then?
For laughs and giggles?
Huh?
For laughs and giggles?
No. Because if you're going to go in and actually post content, then that's exactly what's going to happen. This is the
Yeah.
most white hot conflict in since we've been alive. People are absolutely riled up to the nines about it.
Well, it's interesting because it kind of has been going on for ages and ages, but it's just it's entered the public consciousness. It's almost like that thing that happened with the George Floyd stuff, where it was like, all of a sudden people went, racism! And a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, it's been happening for like quite a long time. Palestinians have been fucked over in Gaza and on the West Bank for a very, very long time. But it's just zip out. People had kind of given up on it. Like, I've listened to interviews with, that Norman Finkelstein.
Finkelstein!
What a fucking boy he is.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
He's very cool.
Yeah.
My parents were in Majdanek concentration camp. That's quite a good Finkelstein that I pulled out of my fucking ass.
Yeah. I don't know how much, traction you're going to get with your his big Finkelstein impression.
I'm going to try it on stage. Yeah. You guys know Finkelstein? What's the deal with Finkelstein?
Yeah.
You know the guy whose parents were in the Holocaust and he's very pro-Palestine? You know that guy?
Yeah.
I got a good impression of him.
Yeah. I'm Norman Finkelstein.
The thing what's happening to these people in Gaza. Yeah, he's great. But I was listening to an interview with him, and he's like spent his whole professional life documenting the atrocities in Palestine and speaking out against it. And he was like, even me, no, and this is actually what he said. He spoke about himself in the third person. He went, even Norman Finkelstein had given up on Palestine, but yet again we are back talking about it, and there's been a resurgence in support around the world. Yes. And I want to get to the point where I can talk about myself in the third person. I think you can just do it.
Yeah,
but it didn't come across bad. How do you do that and it doesn't come? Even Norman Finkelstein had given up on Palestine.
Even old Norman Finkelstein, which as many of you know is me.
You kind of have to be like an old Jewish guy to get away with it, I think. Yeah. Even Finkelstein.
Even me, old Norman Finkelstein, and of course, my horse, Joey Stalin. It's me, Joey Stalin, Norman Finkelstein's horse. Pro-Palestine advocate, Norman Finkelstein's horse.
We're about to get merch made. Are we going to have merch that's Norman Finkelstein on the back of a horse called Joey Stalin?
Yes. It's me, Joey Stalin. I live under the bed of Norman Finkelstein in New York.
The horse has a yarmulke on as well.
Yeah. Stalin famously loved Jewish people. What I was going to say to you is, Finkelstein's a good man. The whole thing.
Tell you what's good about Finkelstein is I think I like Noam Chomsky, but I can't fucking listen to him.
Well, he's too close to death.
But he seems to have been that way for such a long time. And he's so tired of everyone's shit as Noam Chomsky. He just sits there going, well, actually, I think you're wrong about that because of this book that I wrote in 1976.
That's right.
And it's like, God, you're clearly a very clever man, but I cannot consume the information that you're imparting.
But that's why do you think we have young, hot, sexy people with big juicy tits
Mia
and
Khalifa?
good jawlines on TV? Mia Khalifa obviously massive big juicy tits, and
Noam Chomsky should write Mia Khalifa's scripts and she should just say it.
Or just fucking Noam Chomsky get a fucking boob job, get a pair of fucking big juicy tits,
get a Matt Rife jaw transplant.
Absolutely. And then I'll listen to your fucking ideas about America's foreign policy if you've got a big pair of juicy tits
instead of the saddest face that anyone has ever had.
Just a face that's fucking just been fucking wintered away.
Yeah, by capitalism.
By capitalism and just concern about the human race. His face is melting. To be fair, it is, father time. Like, I mean, Chomsky was not a young man in World War One. Chomsky was too old to get on the Titanic. You know what I mean? Like,
they were like, Jesus, if this voyage goes fine, we don't. They were
we're trying to keep it young and hot.
We're trying to keep it young and hot.
Winslet.
We're trying to keep the death toll to a minimum. Actually, and if you die, we want to be like everybody made it, but you'll just die of old age on the Titanic.
100%.
Yeah, you're the only person that died of old age on the Titanic.
Yeah, 100%. I believe he used to be talking about fucking Henry VIII shouldn't have killed. He was around
These wives.
He's cutting their heads off and acting like that's a fine thing to do.
There's just no, even when he's like debating someone, he doesn't go, no, well, actually you're wrong. He goes, well, the reason you're wrong is because of this and this and that. It's so not impassioned anymore. He's just sick of everyone's shite.
Yeah, no, he's
so
had enough. And nobody will just leave him alone and eat his bagels or whatever he wants to do. Everyone's just getting him on every Zoom conversation. And it's just some young little fucking cum-filled fucker being like, Mr. Chomsky, we're such big fans.
Some guys at Harvard currently.
Yeah, and then Chomsky's like, well, thank you for having me. This is a horrible way to spend the last few years of my life. Of course, I wish I was dead 50 years ago. But,
it's him and Lex Friedman going, wow, yeah.
And they'll just be like, whoa, thank you, Mr. Chomsky. And anyway, yes, I think America is still bad, which I've said every day for 50 years. And Israel, it's an illegal occupation in Palestine. Is this an enlightening idea for you? Is this new?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was trying to
it should be a porno with him and Norman Finkelstein,
Noam,
just trying to
leave me alone, Noam. My parents were in Auschwitz. Noam's like, yes, his parents suffered greatly at the hands of the Nazis. It's just like such high energy, low energy.
Yes,
it's good. They could probably have a good podcast.
I'm gonna suck him off, and I am gonna suck you off, Noam. And they just have the weirdest old Jewish 69 putting their flaccid penises. This does not taste good, Noam. Well, this doesn't taste fantastic either, Norman. But this is the situation we find ourselves in. Just the two of them. Tell me when you're going to come, Norman. I don't want to be surprised. I will tell you what I feel like telling you, Noam. My parents, we know about your parents. But keep talking about them. This is actually helping me to get there.
It's just ASMR, but the A stands for Auschwitz.
Yeah. But where I was going to get to with my Uber, my taxi, speaking of.
God, we got fucking derailed there.
We did get derailed there. But so I had a great Middle Eastern Uber driver, which of course, as we all know, is a unicorn. And
Lester spotted Middle Eastern Uber driver.
That's right. So I was in there, and so I was in the back seat with fucking Ramesh Ranganathan, and we were having a big stupid drunken fight because we were at her family's Christmas do on Saturday. So they're having a Christmas dinner and everything, and so we were just like two boozy Susies, whiskeys and pints, and I had to drink a lot to impress everyone there because they're like, you're Irish, and they're of Irish descent.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're Irish, and they're like, we drink.
But they have a point to prove with their Irishness. You don't have anything to prove with your Irishness.
Yeah, but they were confident in themselves.
No, but this is one, as in terms of drinking and stuff, they have kind of people from Irish immigrant backgrounds. It's like they have a point to prove within their own souls because they get because of their own accents.
Yeah,
they have to do everything else Irish to the max. So when they drink, they get so fucked up because they're like, "Does this make me Irish yet? Right. Am I fucking Irish?" And then that's being bestowed upon you because you can't make them.
They were making poutine in the toilets. They were just,
is that right?
Singing ho ho rattling bug up down in the we're Irish. They were executing English soldiers in the upstairs. We're Irish. So anyway, but we were boozing away, and we were so anyway. But there's wine and the demon rum and whiskey and every kind of thing we were thrown into us. So then we were getting an Uber over to fucking Moth Club. There was stuff going on there. We're like, we'll go over there, and so then we're in the fucking. We're in the Uber anyway, and anyway, we're just drunkenly just a fight about nothing, Well, she's like, your ears spell funny. You're fucking English. You're English. What about that? That smells funny to me. You know. So, but anyway, we're shouting at each
You
other.
just needed to have an argument. There was just some kind of
That's right.
brewing.
But she was being a lot more vocal in the argument, right? She was just being like, and then I just started ignoring her, right? I was just like, because I don't like fighting in front of
Middle Eastern people.
Middle Eastern people. They got enough of that. You think he needs this in his fucking Uber? In the back of his Uber,
This is what he fled from.
Absolutely. And the two of us fucking going hammer and tongs. And so he's driving along there, and you could see he's looking back. She's like kind of shouting away, and he's kind of looking back at her like, as in, you know, just like, shut up, woman.
Yeah. If we were where I'm from,
that's absolutely.
This is not how this argument would be going.
100%. We'd have you tied to the boot, and you'd be being dragged along the back of the fucking road here now for shouting. So anyway, so then anyway, eventually she like whatever, because I'm there on my phone, kind of just ignoring her, just being like, well, I'm not engaging in this, and you know that'll drive a woman straight to the moon. So then she's just like, you're ignoring me, blah, blah. She's like, okay, I want to get out. I want to get out right here. And then
in the middle of the night, in the middle of London,
100%.
You're going to get out and walk home, are you?
Yes, we're just completely in just an area. I can see people
Just
getting
the
stabbed.
middle of Tottenham.
I can see people getting stabbed either. So I was like, let me out here. Let me out here. I'm going to
I'll
get
be
stabbed.
safer with them.
Yeah, I'll be safer with them than you. Their stabbing is less violent than your silence. And I believe that. So she's like, let me out. And your man just goes, your man, the taxi driver was like, no. He goes, no, you will fix things with your man. Like this to her. And I was like, this is the best misogyny. If I could just get like uber misogyny every time I go anywhere with my girlfriend, that'd be amazing. Like he's like, no. She's like, I want to get out now. He was like, no. You will not get out. You will fix things with your man.
He's patching up your relationship. He's kind of like mediating the arguments. He's 100%. Fucking Jerry Arab Springer.
Yeah. Jerry Arab Springer. Fuck me. That's fucking good. Welcome to another episode of Jerry Arab Springer. We have got the pregnancy results. She is pregnant outside of wedlock, so we stoned her to death. And then everyone just says, Jerry. Oh God, that's great. But so he's like just telling her, he's like, no, you will talk to her. And she's like, I want to get out of this Uber now. I was the one who paid for the Uber. He's like, no, you will say. He just doesn't let her out. It's amazing.
Unreal.
And then he's kind of like, I kind of give him a look in the mirror. He's like, brother. And I was like, you know what I mean? Like this.
Good man.
Yeah. So, and then we're going away. And then like literally, I would say 5-7 minutes later, we're in an area near my house, and at this stage I'm like, we're not going anywhere else. You know, when you're in a fight, you're like, we're not bringing this to some other booze house. So I was like, so then when I goes here, we'll get out here. He just immediately, yes sir. And he just lets us out, and it was just so beautiful. And I just thought, if there was a way, I guess most Uber drivers you are getting, you know,
Uber misogyny.
Yeah, Uber misogyny.
Yeah.
But like, I really appreciate that. And when I got out of the Uber, right, and I was getting out, and like, I don't care about the political correctness, man. I'm just like, you took my side, you're my brother. Yeah. So as I got out, I put my hand on his shoulder, like, as in just like a thank you, and he put his hand like this, and just went like that, as if like, arms. Don't let the women get you down. Wow. Don't let the bitches get you down. He started singing in Jamaican then. Don't let the bitches get you down. And I was like, I thought you're Middle Eastern. And then it was sick, lad.
That's unreal. I think the weirdest thing, I mean, arguing in a taxi and stuff, I always just go, can we just repress this?
100%, let's repress it. Let's get back to the house and I'll hit you. But
you want to be fucking Irish? Put it away.
Put it away.
Put all of your emotions away.
Mary and Tom and Father Ted. Do you know what I mean? Where they're just like, you fucker, chip a gun. As soon as they see the priest, how are you, Father?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. It's just fakeness.
Uber drivers are priests.
Uber drivers are priests.
That's what it's all
about. They have children in the boot. Sorry. Hey, what about this?
Well, I was just going to tell a very quick Uber story once. Of one time I was getting an Uber, I think to the Bill Murray I was like doubling between gigs and like the tube strike was on and it was all fucked.
Quit bragging.
And just on the way, this guy, the Uber driver, I was just like, I don't really talk to Uber drivers. Jamali's huge for talking to every single time. How are you? How's your day going?
Right.
Like all this fun. And she's like starting to chat. And then I'm just like, we had stuff that we need to sort out in the back of this Uber, but you're just talking to a man now.
Yeah.
In like menial small talk that he doesn't want to be involved with. Although Bobby Mayer has the fucking...
And you know he doesn't like it either. In his head, he's like, why is she being allowed to talk? He's looking at you like, why are you not hit?
But he's trying like turning corners fast just to try and get me to headbutt her.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know I'm always headbutting her.
Yeah.
It's big. And Bobby Mayer has the best bit, and I think it's on his special, so I hope I'm not giving it away. But go see Bobby Mayer. He's very funny. He has a really funny bit about talking to Uber drivers. He's like, I never talk to them because all that happens is you just end up hearing about a genocide.
Yeah.
Inevitably. How did you move here? Well, in my country. And you just go, oh, no. And you're like, I've heard that one. Come on. The Balkans again. Come on. Get on with it. But this one time I was in an Uber and it was just the strangest thing. I was just sat in the back and I'm like, they don't want to talk to me. And they're like, anytime they're like, can I take a phone call? I'm like, yeah. Please do. I like the kind of noise. Let's listen to LBC. You take your phone calls in a language that I can't understand. Great. But driving along in silence, and he just rolls the window down, and then as it hits the bottom, rolls it back up again. And in my head, I went, he's farted. That man's farted right now.
Yeah.
What else could that be? I've really tried to rack my brains for what else that could be. Window down, window straight back up again.
I think it could be farted. It's probably he let off a pungent little fart there. Did you get a sniff of anything?
I have quite a bad sense of smell, so I didn't get anything, but
Which
I rarely
worked in your
would.
favour in
I
that-
rarely
in
would.
that situation.
Yeah. It's
But
a
so-
superpower of sorts.
But there definitely is like some kind of like, you know, I see children do it, and when I say that when I was younger, where you just, some people are just that thick simpleness of just like, window down and then just go window back up.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Have you seen what's happened now with the younger generation? I did a little mime of like, you know,
yeah.
and my cousin went, what's that?
Right. They thought that was another thing with a priest, did they?
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
You're just winding a priest
But they just-
from by the cock, just
Just you wind him up, it's like a Jack in the Box. And he pops up and goes, through him, with him, in him.
and then you're like, no. That's such a crack.
In the unity of the... I love that. I think it's such a banger.
Oh, lads.
I want to... I think it'd be so funny to do a stand-up show, and it would come across act just because anytime you talk about like priests and stuff, it's just like it's been done so many times. But I think it'd be so funny to start a comedy show walking through the middle of the audience just with like jing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling and just going, in the unity of the Holy Spirit, all glory and honor is yours, Almighty Father.
Yeah.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Oh, I do think that would be cool. And then hand out like just little like ecstasy tablets just to everyone. Just everyone has to come up and then like you'll have
Body
older
of
people
Christ.
doing the tongue thing.
Yeah.
Some people stick out their rotten, dirty old tongue like a lizard.
Stinky
They just
that.
come up and they just.
When you're a small child, that's okay. But I think it's once you've done your confirmation, you're supposed to take it in your hand.
I always thought it was very but you're the older the person.
Is it the arthritis? They can't grasp a
Nothing-
disc of that size.
No, it's a very sexual thing. It's very dirty. So they go up and they're just like.
If Milky Bar buttons had any fucking balls, they would make spoof Christ discs.
Yeah. Yeah, if they had balls, but the lady they put a tongue out and you'd see there's a word there's original at either side of their mouth.
Like
Give me-
fucking
yeah.
like tobacco, like that Norwegian tobacco stuff.
Yeah.
Where they just stuck in it, or nicotine pouches, but instead of nicotine, it's just Werther's originals, and they've got them
Yeah.
up on their gums and all.
But I think that
Like Marlon Brando in The
Yeah.
Godfather. Two
you
Werther's
come to me on
originals.
the day of my daughter's wedding. With a request. Just hold
Body
on.
of Christ.
Hold on just a second. I got a word or thing. It's original. But so I was going to.
Are there other Werthers?
Huh?
Are there other Werthers?
Oh, what do you mean? Then originals?
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to imagine if there's an originals, then there'd have to be like the
The sequel.
Yeah.
Is there a Werther's the squeakquel? 2 Werth, 2 theirs.
The company is called Werther's Original.
So and they only make one thing.
No, they make lots of things, but they're all Werther's Original.
I hate that.
What else do they make? Would they make a clothes horse?
Called Joey Stalin.
Joey Stalin, I'm a clothes horse now. It's the only work for an old dead communist horse. He's a clothes horse. I'm Norman Finkelstein's clothes horse.
I do think there's some little tiny thing in my head when Norman Finkelstein gets. I know we're going back to talking about Norman Finkelstein again, but when he gets so excited or gets very impassioned when he's talking, he does start to sound a little bit like Seinfeld.
Finkelstein.
Yeah.
You
My parents were in Majdanek concentration camp. What's the deal with concentration camps?
I like concentration. I like camps. But when you put them together, it's no fun. What's the deal?
You're on a train, but you're in a concentration camp.
What's going on?
Who are these people?
They are fellow members of the Jewish religion. That's who they are. Lad, I saw the greatest thing. So I was in Cork doing those Chris Kent gigs.
That White Horse gig in Balcollig is class.
It's a lovely
My brother
gig.
went.
Huh?
My brother said he had a great time.
Oh, Dario was there. He was, yeah. Dario and he had some lovely ladies with him. He was pimping.
Dario's always got lovely ladies
It
with
was
him.
Dario and three lovely ladies.
Kind of ethereal, like elfish Irish women with strange names.
Yes. And Dario he seemed to have some sort of a hold on them. You know what I mean? He's like, get me a drink now. And they're like, okay, Dario did run. And they all they had a lot of makeup on around their eyes. You know what I mean?
What's funny is I think all of those women listen to the podcast.
Yeah. No, they were as lovely
Nice
ladies.
bunch.
I had a pint of Beamish with them after the 4 of us. And then a fella came over to our table who was just absolutely steaming fucking drunk and started telling us about I think about his like children that he doesn't like his children. And we were just
Was he at the show?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He'd been at the show. There was a fella.
Did he do that thing where? And Cork's a good place for it. Cork is one of the places I've had most people buy me a pint after a show.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in lots of places, but Cork is very much like you did well there, son, and then give you a fucking pint. And but sometimes that pint does mean that they get to own your ears for an extended period of time.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want it. It's not worth the pint.
No, it's not worth the pint. But I had a fella. There was a Have a Word fan came up to me before the show. And it's the first time I
can smell them coming.
The boys, you can feel the energy. And he just kept saying to me, just be like, make sure you say dark things up there now. Make sure you say dark things. And it was also the first time I'd been offered Coke before a show. I'd been offered Coke before the gig. He thought it might be a good idea for me to do
incredible.
a line before I got on stage.
Yeah.
And he just kept saying, make sure to say dark things up there. Say awful things about death and paedophilia and women being stupid.
There was ever a bit of advice you didn't need to give Mike. Just to say nasty things about paedophiles.
Say rotten things. Say things about death and how women have smaller brains than men. Say things that confirm all my prejudices and biases, please. And say them in a funny way. For me.
For me, the man from Cork.
From Cork. This is the worst Cork. It is not a Cork accent at all. I'm from Cork, boy.
There we go.
So he came and he did just like when I started I was closing with the threesome bit, which is on my special, but I don't have a great new closer yet. And then he was sitting at the bar. He stood at the bar, this lad, and throughout the set he would comment on things. And then as soon as I started the threesome one, he just goes, I've heard this one.
God.
And then I just had to
The
go.
worst, because he's obviously such a big fan to have
Yeah.
like seen it or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's just like, you.
Yeah, and I just literally had to go, yeah, fair enough, but I'm going to do it again anyway. Yeah, fair enough.
Fair play, crack
Fair
on.
play, crack on.
Go ahead.
But the next day, lad, in Ballycotton, I was getting my hair cut.
Two quite different vibes to gigs.
Yeah.
Balcollig versus
Ballycotton,
Ballycotton. Balcollig is very kind of like rough, small.
That's right.
Like everyone's right there. It's packed
Yeah.
in. It's great, really, really. And then
That's right.
Sea Church in a fucking old church. Very, very swanky restaurant. Very swanky bit of town.
That's right.
Tall ceiling, stained glass.
That's
all
exactly
it's
right.
like so contrasting
I upset
between
them.
the two nights.
I
Yeah,
upset
me
that
too.
crowd.
I think both times I've done Sea Church, it's
Yeah.
been like, oh,
No.
you haven't liked this very much.
No.
And like 5 of them really like it.
That's
They're
exactly
like, go
right.
on, man. And you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're not doing enough.
Yeah, I had about 10 out of the 100
Yeah,
that liked it.
it's
And then
tricky.
there was some people who just like, I can't believe what he's saying up there in a church, and just you could just see them being truly, this has soured their year. You know what I mean? Like this
Right
is
at the death.
right at the death. But so in Ballincollig,
It's like Filth scored a last minute equalizer on their year.
yeah, yeah, really,
They've been
is.
living clean for 11 months.
Yeah, but so I was in Ballincollig and I was getting a haircut, and I
You
saw.
getting haircuts on the road?
Huh?
You getting haircuts on the road?
I just had to. My head was I just looked a fucking stage. Ever just sometimes let things crawl up on you, and you just look in the mirror, and you're like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
I look like a
Because
fucking
you see it gradually,
dustbin.
and then you see it for what it is, and
Yeah.
you go, fucking hell.
Yeah, I look like a pile of cat shit. So I was like, right, I'll go and get my hair cut. And it was like these, because there was 2 barbers beside each other. And one of the barbers was just owl lads in it. And then the other one was what looked like children were cutting hair. But there was young people in there. So I was like, I guess the young trendy people are coming here. And do you ever like get a haircut?
It's good.
I think it's all right, but it was just one of those cases. I mean, you're both looking, your reactions have not filled me with confidence. Like, you go,
No, it
it's
is good. No, it
and
is
then
good.
Connell
Sorry,
just kind of goes,
it's because I'd kind of interrupted you half. It's good. Looks
Yeah.
great. The sides, the fade's really nice. I think it's good.
no, I think it ended up all right, but it was one of those things where your man asked me what I wanted, and I told him, and then he was just like, no, I won't be, no, I'll do what, I'll look good there, and I was just like, fair enough, I don't have a clue.
I want that. I
Yeah.
think I want them to tell me what to do. I think I'm going to try and go to, there's like a few TikTok barbers out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to just be like, tell me what I should have, and we'll go from there.
Take it out of my hands. Just you tell me what to do, be confident about it, and I'll do it.
Well, the people on Instagram have said with the mustache, I should accompany it with a mullet,
Oh, lad, I think you should.
like Hot London Fuckboy over here.
Like one of the most cum-filled individuals that's ever stepped foot in London. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's a high bar.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
wouldn't
hard
leave
bar.
these plants around the room even with him. Do you know what I mean? He's going to Harvey Weinstein into them if we turn our backs for a second. But so I saw in the hairdresser though, lad, this is, I think, the greatest image I've ever seen in Ireland. There was a young Asian man sitting in the...
And this is in real life, sorry, the
Yeah.
image I just, because my brain went straight away to like all shit barbers have pictures of David Beckham on the wall.
Yeah.
And Drake.
Yeah, but no, in real life, there's a young Asian man with a full perm, like he's just sitting there, and his whole hair has been put in curlers.
Wow.
So he's just sitting there with
What
all of
type?
his hair-
East Asian or South Asian?
East Asian. And so he's sitting there. I don't know the difference. I genuinely don't. I hate to say that, but I'm just going to say East.
Did he look brown or Chinese?
Chinese.
There we go.
Right. Oh, God.
Did he look like he'd recently followed me on Instagram?
He looked like, actually, now that I think of it, he was trying to explain to the barbers, he's just like, big fat head, and he says racism bad. He is greatest comedian we ever see in Indonesia. Let me show you a clip of a great comedian. And then so she'd be like, racism's bad. And he was like, yes, look at this. You're so good. Big fat head. I want to get the palms on my head. Look as fat as his head. This can't be right. Why have I not saved any of this for the Patreon?
Because you don't have a Patreon
Right.
this week.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think the public has been dense with filth because of the
fuck.
and controversy.
Don't tell me.
We've
I'm
spent about 10
surely-
minutes doing a Norman Finkelstein
Yeah.
impression.
We're allowed to do that. He's an old Jewish man.
It took you just a half second too long to say Ishman.
I know. I know that. They know that. Everyone knows that now. But I'm glad I got there.
Yeah.
So
He's an old Jewish man.
But so anyway, this fella, this Asian fella, I feel like on this, I feel like this podcast now. I just do feel this could ruin my career. But anyway, whatever.
Or make it
in certain areas. So anyway, he was sitting there. He had curlers all in, and the woman has like this kind of net put over his hair. So he's been like just left to marinate or cook.
Yeah.
They would think. But I've never seen he was just sitting there with all the curlers in just Balcollig, and he was just sitting there staring at himself in the mirror, but just in the most intense like that. He's just like, I'm about to go to war, and he's getting his hair curled. Just insane.
Eye contact with himself.
Yes. But then the song, the Neo song, do you know the song? You should let me love you.
I think
let
so,
me
yeah.
be the one to give you anything you want. And that comes on. He knows every word to the song. He doesn't move his head. He just stays there with all the curlers in and just, you should let me love you. Let me be. And he just staring. And we're all kind of looking over because everyone can kind of just hear someone started singing. And everyone's looking over. It's like, have we dreamt this? He's just there. And then he really hits. There's a part where you go, every night doing you right. And I thought, this is if I could go to a barber's and just know this is always going to be there, I'd pay an extra tenner.
You'd fly to Cork for that if you knew that was going to happen every single time.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Just the Asian guy singing R&B with his curlers in, but just dead. He did not smile.
No.
He did not smile or move his head.
You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything
you want and need. Pretty good.
That's pretty good podcasting. Should we plug our tours and then
we're not there, are we?
And send them towards the live pod
56.
on Patreon?
56
and a half.
56 and a half. Yes, because you've got to get out here.
I've got to fly to see my grandmother's dead body.
Oh, come on. Are you going to kiss her? I'm not joking about that. I kissed my granny when she died.
Kiss her.
We all had to do
I kissed her when she was alive a few weeks ago.
Did you?
But that's why we're recording so early, is I have to fly back for my nana's funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for your troubles.
Is that the right thing to say?
Yep.
Not in West Belfast.
No. In Belfast, you say sorry for their troubles.
Although I am worried about having a mustache at a funeral in West Belfast, because I do think that just gives the whole thing a notch of was she in the rat?
Yeah. Yeah. She did her bit.
She is in the fucking.
She did her bit.
She's getting buried in the Ra cemetery,
Is she?
Yeah.
See.
It's the one that everybody's in. Is Bobby Sands there?
I think so.
Bury me with Bobby. I want to be buried with Bobby.
The number of people who would do that if they could.
Yeah.
Just keep having the fucking another one in with Bob.
Just Bobby having the biggest fucking threesome. You know what I mean? Like an orgy.
All the lads. I'm on tour around the UK and Ireland. Buy tickets as best you can.
Yeah, I'm around the UK and Ireland. I just added a show in Glasgow, an extra show at the Blackfriars. That's going to be April 9th.
Unbelievable venue.
Yeah.
What a room. Yeah, Bobby's going to be next to my nana.
Unreal. That's sick.
Oh, so good.
Unreal. Yeah, so Blackfriars, Manchester, I'm going to be adding a show. I might have one added by now, but there'll be another show added there. Dublin, there's going to be an extra show added. And then everywhere else is MikeRiceComedy.com on my website. Go check it out. All Ireland, UK. Get tickets. I love you.
My parents
died by eating too much pussy. They both did. My mother wasn't even a lesbian, but she still couldn't get enough. I'm Norman Finkelstein.
I think we're just gearing them up for what is going to be an insane live podcast on the Patreon.
That's
so sign
right.
up to patreon.com/parenting. We still haven't managed to secure a replacement sponsor, so we need your money, please.
Give me some money.
All those 20 quids that your grandparents gave you over Christmas, send them our way. That'll get you a whole fucking year nearly of the Patreon of Mike and Vittorio's Guide to Parenting.
Guide to...
My parents were parents.
My parents were both parents. Good word. Okay, Norman, we're gonna cut now. We're gonna go to a break.
Have a good one.
Love you.
Patreon.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
See you later. Bye bye.